Moving to a brand new city can be very scary and very confusing. In today's video, we're going to take you on a full tour of one of Sacramento's top suburbs that you guys request. We're gonna go from the farthest west side to the farthest east side, and we're gonna give you our pros and cons of everything that we love and hate about Roseville, California.
Let's check it out. Hey everyone, we're Lance and Lauren with the Living in Sacramento team, and on today's video, we're going to take you all around Roseville, California. Now, we're going to start in West Roseville where there's new construction. We're going to go through Central Roseville where all of the things are in Roseville, the main shopping and all of that. And then we're going to end in the farthest part of East Roseville.
Yep, so we've gotten a lot of questions from you guys as it relates to, how far some of the new construction areas are from some of the amenities that Roseville has to offer, some of the schools. And while we try to do our best job as it relates to explaining this stuff on a map and doing the map tour videos, which we will save a little bit of time for at the end, we figured why not do a driving tour video. So we're actually out here at the corner of Westbrook Boulevard and Lower Bank. So this is where a lot of the new construction in the north side of West Roseville is going to be. We're going to drive you all the way down Blue Oaks. We're going to get onto East Roseville Parkway, which is going to be one of the longest connecting roads from West Roseville all the way to East Roseville. We're going to show you some of the amenities along the way. We're going to talk about where some of the grocery stores are. We are going to cut out sitting at all the stoplights, but we're going to point out some of that stuff as we're driving. So we're going to show you, we're going to have one camera going to be facing outward. We're going to have some B-roll. We're going to have some drone footage, and we're going to talk about some of our favorite pros of each of the areas, why we like them. And we're going to talk about some of the cons about each of the areas. And so that way you have a full picture of what you're looking for. All right, so right now we're heading south on Westbrook Boulevard. So we're in the community of Winding Creek. Now, we didn't go all the way out to the very tip part of where some of this new construction is, because there is going to be a brand new construction community by D.R. Horton that's going to be out at Amarusa Ranch. There are going to be other builders out there as well too. D.R. Horton just happens to be the first, but we're going to start out in Winding Creek. Now, there are a couple of different builders out here. You're going to have Cahovnanian, you're going to have Richmond American, you're going to have Meritage, you're going to have Woodside Homes, some more D.R. Horton homes. Now we're taking a left onto Blue Oaks Boulevard. Now you are going to see a ton of construction as we're driving through this. So with all the new growth that's been happening out here, Blue Oaks and Pleasant Grove are both having widening projects as well as getting new street lights put in here.
So right now we're passing the water treatment plant that's out here in West Roseville. It's on the back side of West Park High School. Now we do get a lot of questions about this specific facility for people that are moving out here. Is it hazardous? Is it anything that we should be concerned of? The main thing is it's just not the prettiest to look at. But other than that, there's nothing wrong with living close to that. It's just where the city of Roseville put it.
Yeah, I'm sure that they put this back here when they didn't think that there was going to be a ton of development and it was going to be out in the middle of nowhere. But all of the new construction and the new development out here has just kind of caused it. Now, if we go south on Hayden Parkway, that's going to take us over to the brand new West Park High School, which Lauren talked about. It's going to be on the backside of the Energy Park. That's going to be the new state-of-the-art facility. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's one of, I would say, the nicest high schools that we have in the greater Sacramento metro area. It just opened up in 2021, I believe. Right now it's going to probably take us a total of about 20 to 25 minutes to get from West Roseville all the way over to East Roseville. We're going to point out a couple of things along the way as it relates to just some of this stuff. But, one of the things that I think a lot of people don't like about being out in some of the newer construction areas is it lacks a lot of the amenities. So for a long time, a lot of the grocery stores, a lot of the gas stations all used to be kind of on the corner of either Blue Oaks or Pleasant Grove and Wood Creek Oaks. But since then, we're actually starting to see a lot more developments coming up to the Fittyment Road, which kind of brings things out a little bit closer. So as we're crossing over Fittyment on the left-hand side, as we're driving back towards Central Roseville, you're gonna have a brand new shopping center that just opened up. You're gonna have a Rayleigh's One Market in here. There's a Garden of Eden, Chipotle, West Coast Sourdough Co., Habit Burger. You've also got an Arco gas station, which I know a lot of people really love.
And then on the right-hand side, you're gonna have Sun City Del Webb. Now this is gonna be the biggest 55 and up community out here in West Roseville. There are other 55 and up communities that are also out in West Roseville that are a little bit newer, but you're also going to have 2 different golf courses here that are open to the public. So if you're, in the house, so if you're in the market or looking for a 55 and up community in Roseville, this is going to be the area that you're going to be in.
There's also going to be a few more 55 and up communities that are going to be right around this area. So you also are going to have the club at West Park, which is just going to be on the other side of Fittyman, a little bit closer to Pleasant Grove. You're going to have Heritage, which is going to be kind of back out towards Westbrook. And you're also going to have the Eschaton Village, which is going to be over here kind of in the similar area of Sun City, Blue Oaks, kind of Pleasant Grove. Now, what we didn't talk about as we were crossing over Fittyman is there are some other new developments that are going to be out on Fittyman and Pleasant Grove, which is going to be a brand new Safeway, going to be across the street from that Walgreens. And then we are also getting a new Costco that's going to be coming out here as well too, which is going to be off of Baseline in Fittyman. So we'll save a little bit of time at the end where we'll hop on a map and kind of talk about some of the other things that aren't going to be necessarily on this trip. But Blue Oaks and Pleasant Grove are going to be 2 of the main highways that are going to take you to Highway 65, which is going to be your main freeway access. So coming up here on the right on Blue Oaks, which is going to be one of the middle schools out here in West Roseville. Great rated middle school. A lot of the West Roseville homes go to this middle school if they're closer to the north side. As we continue to go east, we're going to be coming up on Wood Creek Oaks Boulevard. Now, on our right-hand side is going to be a Safeway. Now, this used to be a Safeway that was kind of one of the original grocery stores out in West Roseville. But across the street from that, they just built a brand new shopping center called Campus Oaks, which is going to have a brand new Nugget. It's going to have a brand new 24-hour fitness, which they haven't put one of those here in about 20, I'd say 10, 15 years. They're going to have an MOD pizza. And then we're going to actually take a right on East Roseville Parkway. Now, this is going to be one of the main roads that's going to take you from West Roseville all the way to East Roseville. So we are going to get roadblocked here for a quick second. They are building an overpass to get over some of the industrial stuff that's over kind of by Foothills Boulevard. But a lot of this stuff in this area that you're seeing on the GoPro is a lot of new construction. So these are new apartments. They're getting ready to put in a Chick-fil-A across the street, which we talked about in our last video. But that shopping center on Campus Oaks has a Starbucks. It has a really cool local hot dog place that's awesome. So a lot of really fun things to do in Roseville. But that's going to lead us into our first pro for Roseville is going to be if you're wanting to find an area with new construction, West Roseville is probably going to be your best bet. So where we started out at all the way out off of Westbrook Boulevard is where you're seeing a lot of the new construction. You are seeing some stuff that's going to be south on the Pleasant Grove side of Westbrook as well. But West Roseville is going to be one of the main areas that you're going to have your new construction as it relates to that. A lot of good builders, a lot of great incentives going on right now. We've showcased and highlighted a lot of different builders on this channel. So if you want to see any of those videos, check out our Sacramento vlogs of some of those builders. But what we're going to do right now is we're coming up to Foothills Boulevard.
So as you can see in front of us, this is going to be an overpass that they're building that will connect Roseville Parkway to East Roseville Parkway. So this will eventually go all the way through, all the way into East Roseville, which will significantly decrease some of the traffic on some of the other roads that currently bring you from East Roseville out to West Roseville. So the other pro to West Roseville is going to be that since this area is such a new area, you're going to have a lot of new schools, a lot of newer facilities. They're going to be state of the art. So we mentioned earlier about West Park. Now that's going to be the brand new high school that's out here in West Roseville. But there's also new elementary schools that they're building as these communities are popping up. So if you have an elementary school age child or even a high school age child, most likely your kid's going to be going to a brand new school that's going to have the latest technology. It's just going to have that new, really nice feeling. Now they haven't built a new middle school yet, but that is coming in the future to accommodate all of the new construction homes that are going in out here.
Now coming up to our first con, and these are going to be specific to the areas that we're going to be driving you through as we're showing you kind of drone footage of this new overpass and kind of some of the area of West Roseville. So one of our first cons about West Roseville is going to be that there's going to be a ton of like construction and noise and some of that kind of traffic that comes along with you know, lack of infrastructure as it relates to whether it's the new construction community that you decided to move to, whether it's waiting for additional grocery stores like the new Safeway that's being built on the corner of Pleasant Grove and Fittyment, or the new Costco, or just not having gas stations. I know we have a lot of friends that live out in the West Roseville, like deep West Roseville area, and you know, some of those things are a little, you know, minor inconveniences, right? Not having a gas station super close, or not having a grocery store, and you're driving, you know, 5-10, you know, extra minutes that you need to, right? So the lack of infrastructure as it relates to both residential and the commercial side of things is definitely going to be one of that. You know, we're out here constantly. I know Lauren's car's probably gotten a couple of nails as we're trying to, you know, show some of these new home communities. You know, sometimes that happens as you're driving through some of these areas, even when you're looking through and you're deciding on a new home community. We've had a couple of clients that have actually gotten nails in their tires. So it's definitely a frustration as these developments get built out. That's going to be one of the cons of, you know, being out here in West Roseville.
So another con to West Roseville is going to be this area is going to mostly have Mellore's. So when you're looking at a new construction home, or even a home that was built within the last, you know, 10, maybe 15 years, there is a high possibility that being out here, that home's going to have a Mellore's bond that's going to be attached to the home. So that is an additional fee or an additional price that you're going to have to consider when deciding whether this is the right area for you or not.
All right, so we jumped over to the other side of Roseville Parkway, and now we're going to continue to head east as we enter into central Roseville. So obviously we're entering into Highland Reserve. That section of East Roseville, or Roseville Parkway, will soon be completed, and people will be able to have a third option to make it all the way across town from one side of town to the other. But right now we're entering into central Roseville off of East Roseville, or Roseville Parkway. Now this is where we're going to start getting into a little bit more of the amenities as it relates to what Roseville has to offer. Now, just north of us is going to be Topgolf. It's going to be the only Topgolf that's going to be located in the greater Sacramento metro. So if that's something that you guys like to do, sometimes that's pretty particular. I know when we have these conversations with you guys, some of the things are you know, certain things that you guys like to do as families or family units. Some things are only located in Roseville versus some of the other areas like Elk Grove and Folsom. But now we're going to be coming up to Pleasant Grove, which, you know, we started on Blue Oaks. Now Pleasant Grove to our left is going to take you to the Highway 65 entrance. And this is going to be one of the two main ways of getting from the Highway 65 freeway all the way over to West Roseville.
So as we're approaching more of central Roseville, now off to my right is going to be more housing. There's going to be Catherine Gates Elementary School, which is going to be one of the main elementary schools for the homes that are closely located around the Galleria Mall. Now as we continue down Roseville Parkway, you're going to see there's some assisted living facilities on our left. There's also some apartments that are over here as well. Now another thing that we're passing on the left, which some people are really big about in this area, is going to be pickleball. So City of Roseville is known for its Parks and Recreation Department. They put in a ton of great parks. They also just put in some pickleball courts. So if you like to play pickleball, or maybe that's something you want to get into, Roseville has those sprinkled all throughout the city of Roseville. Off to our left is going to be some really great food options out here. We love Eureka. It's a really great bar. There's also a Lazy Dog. Then off to my right, you've got more apartments that are conveniently located close to the Galleria. And then back on the left, you've got the Roseville Galleria. Now this is going to be the largest shopping mall in the greater Sacramento metro. You're going to have over 270 stores in there. You've got every store you can possibly think of. So this is where really the entire area comes to shop, whether you're in Roseville, Folsom, Elk Grove, Sacramento, Lincoln. People will all drive to this specific area for shopping. Now, so that brings us to our next point, which this is going to be a huge pro for living in this area, is the proximity that you have to all of this. So you've got shopping, you've got all the restaurants. Now off to my right is going to be the Fountains Shopping Center. So Fountains is our little outdoor shopping mall kind of thing that you've got going on. You've got restaurants, you've got some shops over there as well. But just this is going to be kind of that more condensed area where everything in Roseville is happening. So shops, dining, all of that type of thing is going to be over here.
Yeah, so that's all going to be on the corner of East Roseville or Roseville Parkway and Galleria Boulevard. You're going to have our second pro for this area, which is going to be easy freeway access. So you're going to have Pleasant Grove, you're going to have Galleria Boulevard. If you need to kind of go a little bit further in Central, you can hit Eureka and 80. But this is going to be kind of the central of all of Central Roseville. It's going to be where a lot of people come shopping from the greater Sacramento metro, just not people who live in Roseville, but everyone from, I would probably say a good 50-mile radius around the area. Even people from the Bay Area come up here, and they just come up here to go shopping. So that's going to be our first and second pro for the Central Roseville area, which is going to be just all the amenities, the convenience. You can kind of knock out a bunch of your errands very quickly, bam, 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 and you're super quick. Now, with that, this area is going to have a little bit of an older feel. So on our left side is going to be some of the newer stuff, the Galleria. There is going to be some newer developments that were built in the early 2000s, late 90s. But on the other side, kind of behind the fountains and even closer towards the kind of the train tracks in Old Roseville, is going to have a much older feel as it relates to some of the developments and some of the neighborhoods.
Now, the other con for specifically this area is going to be the traffic. So with the fact that everybody from, the greater Sacramento metro is coming to this part of town for restaurants, dining, and shopping, there's a ton of traffic in this part of town. Now, as you get closer to the holidays, the traffic in this part of town only gets worse. So if you're trying to make it from East Roseville out to West Roseville, specifically during the holidays, it's going to be a lot more congested. It's going to take you a lot more time to get from one side of Roseville to the other, just because of how many people come to this area.
Now, we're going to continue on East Roseville Parkway into East Roseville. We just passed the Golfland Sunsplash, which is another only to Roseville specific. I do believe Sacramento is getting their water park back, but that's a really fun option for families in the summertime when it's hot. You can buy a Golfland Sunsplash season pass, and the kids can go there. Night slides, day slides, it's really awesome. But now we're going to continue to keep going into East Roseville. Now, this is going to start to feel like a little bit more residential. We do have a Lifetime Fitness here, which is going to be located on our left-hand side. There's going to be a lot of local only to Roseville restaurants like McCooney, or I guess McCooney is going to be in Sacramento, but we do have 2 locations there. We do have other restaurants that are just going to be specific to this area. The Lifetime Fitness is going to be on the left, and then you're going to start feeling a little bit more change in scenery, a little bit more of a mature feel as it relates to what you're seeing. So a little bit more hill in East Roseville. This is going to be closer as if we're getting towards like Granite Bay and Folsom Lake. This is also a section where we're going to cross over Douglas, where Douglas is also going to have an entrance from the freeway off Interstate 80, and it's going to have much more of a commercialized feel, at least all down the road of Douglas. So you are going to have a lot of commercial building space, office space. You're also going to have some just retail shopping center that's going to be like Targets and some of the first Starbucks to the Sacramento area, just things like that that we got in the early 90s or late 90s, early 2000s. So you're going to have a couple more apartments over in this area of town. You're going to have a couple more commercial restaurants and just commercial shopping centers.
Now, one of the other things that's going to be over in this part of town is going to be the hospitals. So we've got 2 hospitals that are in East Roseville. We're going to have Kaiser, which is going to be about 1 block over from where we're at right now on my right. And then we passed it back there, but there was another hospital, which is going to be Sutter Hospital. So the 2 main hospitals for Roseville are going to be on the eastern side.
So leading us into our last area before we jump into the map and show you some other kind of hot topic points of Roseville as a whole. But One of the things that I love about East Roseville is going to be the proximity to Folsom Lake. Now, granted, Folsom Lake isn't in East Roseville, but it definitely cuts the distance down if you are a family that likes to go to the lake a lot. As you can kind of see some of the, as we approach Douglas Boulevard, you can also kind of start to see some of the commercial buildings and some of the more office space type buildings as we get across to the other side of Douglas. But yeah, so you know, right here is Douglas. If we take a left on Douglas and we go straight into Granite Bay, it's going to take us into the Douglas entrance or the Granite Bay entrance to Folsom Lake, which is where a lot of people will boat launch from that area. There's a couple of beach access points there, and it's pretty close to Beals Point. But that's going to be one of my favorite things is proximity from East Roseville. You are going to be closer to Folsom Lake. So whereas West Roseville, this whole drive is probably going to take us about 20 to 25 minutes. It cuts about 15 minutes off of that drive time. And, you know, obviously if you're coming here for medical, it's a lot closer to a couple of the hospitals that Lauren mentioned a little bit earlier.
One of my favorite things, and I'd say another pro to East Roseville, is going to be, as you can kind of see on the GoPro footage, there's a much more mature feel out here. You've got tons of gorgeous trees that are in bloom. It's going to have that more established feel, a little bit older feel, a little bit more just kind of, you know, more mature neighborhood feel. And I love that about this part of town, how just grown up it is and how beautiful some of the parkways are that you get to, as you're driving from one part of town to the other.
Now, as we cross and we're finishing up this video on East Roseville Parkway, we're crossing over Eureka, which is another road that'll connect us over to Sierra College. And Sierra College is going to be kind of that borderline for East Roseville Parkway. But one of the things that we want to kind of touch on as some of the cons is East Roseville is going to have a little bit less of a nightlife as it relates to just not a ton of things over here to do past like maybe 9 or 10 o'clock. You're gonna have a lot of restaurants that close down at that time. Not a ton of bars over here. There's a couple of kind of like local spots. There's like an Original Pizza. You can grab some drinks or scoreboards, but not a ton of places where you can actually, you know, grab drinks.
So another con to East Roseville is going to be walkability. So out here, like Lance said, it's a ton of different neighborhoods, but when it comes to walkability of like getting to and from stores or just getting around, this area is not really walkable. You will need a car to complete pretty much all of your everyday errands and tasks.
So we're coming across Sierra College. Now this is going to be into kind of Granite Bay. So that's going to be the end of our video. We're going to jump onto the map here real quick, and we're going to talk about some of the areas that we didn't cover in Roseville. All right, so before we finish this video up, I wanted to jump in on the map real quick and just kind of show you where we were at, what road that we took, and how we went from West Roseville all the way across town to East Roseville using primarily one road, and then also kind of talk about some other roads that may be some of importance to you guys as it relates to major freeways, major roadways, things that kind of take you to and from you know, West Roseville to East Roseville, and just kind of get a lay of the land. I know trying to do it all on the map doesn't make it super easy, but what we wanted to do was at least use the map for a little bit of it and then actually get you out and show you some driving footage of, you know, kind of what's around and what we have, right? We have a lot of different things, but, you know, we started out actually a little bit north of kind of Westbrook. We kind of started a little bit north of Blue Oaks Boulevard off of Westbrook and Lower Bank, which is kind of where some of those new construction homes are. We came down onto Blue Oaks and we followed that all the way down until we got up here to Fittyment. Now, one thing that I want to point out, right, is Fittyment is now kind of the new road where it has some more amenities that is servicing West Roseville, right? Everything used to be off of Wood Creek Oaks. Now it's getting pushed out to Fittyment, right? So we have a Rayleigh's One Market that's going to be at the corner of Blue Oaks and Fittyment. You're also going to have a brand new Safeway that's going to be kind of down here at Fittyment and Pleasant Grove. They already have like a CVS down there. And then we are going to be getting a new Costco out here that's going to be on the corner of Baseline and Fittyment as well too. So a lot more stuff has come out just kind of one block further west, kind of to service more of that. So you've got a gas station out there. I know some of our, like I said, friends and family, you know, they, you know, miss kind of some of those conveniences, but it is nice because the pro of being out in West Roseville is you are going to have that new construction. So, you know, as we came a little bit further in, we came all the way up here to the corner of Blue Oaks and Wood Creek Oaks, where you got the Safeway, you got the Nugget Market, you got the brand new 24-hour fitness, couple of restaurants, MOD Pizza, new Chick-fil-A coming in, Dutch Bros, Starbucks, all that fun stuff there. And then we came down and we started on to East Roseville, or Roseville Parkway, which is going to go from West Roseville, and eventually it's going to connect all the way through and get you over to East Roseville. So we came down this way, took this road kind of over by, and then we were kind of dead-ended here, right here at Foothills Boulevard. Now, they are getting ready to build an overpass that is going to connect both East Roseville Parkway or Roseville Parkway to everything out in West Roseville, and that should alleviate a new route. And then we came back over here on the other side, over by Topgolf, and then we took that in all the way through into Central Roseville. We took it all the way over by the fountains, by the Galleria, and we carried it all the way in past to Central Roseville and East Roseville over by Sunsplash. And then we took East Roseville all the way down until it kind of comes into Granite Bay. And then it even kind of comes across a little bit Granite Bay, but that's primarily the route that we just took you on. Now, some things that I want to kind of point out to you, obviously, we've done a map tour video in the past, and one of the things that is always super important, of the things that you guys love, is just kind of knowing where freeways are, where you can get on and off the freeway. So obviously the main freeway that is going to take you into Roseville from, you know, whether you're coming down the hill from the Reno area or you're coming up from the Bay Area, is going to be Interstate 80, and that's going to be that main vein that takes you all the way across country. Interstate 80 goes all the way over to Maryland. Now, off of 80, you're going to have Highway 65. Now, Highway 65 is going to take you north, and it's going to take you up past Rockland, and it's going to take you up into Lincoln. Now, those are going to be the two main freeways that you're going to take throughout most of your time if you're visiting the Sacramento area, or if you're coming specifically to Roseville, Rockland, or Lincoln. And there's going to be a few different exits that you're going to be able to, you know, get off here. So you're going to have the exit over at Riverside, which is going to be the first exit into Roseville. You're going to have another main exit off of Douglas, and you're going to have another main exit off of Eureka. Now, once you get past Eureka, if you're coming off to Highway 65, you're going to have an exit off of Galleria Boulevard. It's going to take you over by Costco, take you over by the fountains, the mall. You're going to have another exit over off of Pleasant Grove, which is going to be one of the main roads that takes you into West Roseville. And then you're going to have the last exit before you leave Roseville and go into Rockland, which is going to be Blue Oaks. So really, Blue Oaks is going to go into parts of Rockland. It's also going to come all the way out here into the original part where we started off. You're going to have Pleasant Grove. That's going to take you all the way out into West Roseville, as well as parts of Rockland. And then you're going to have Galleria, which is going to take you right next to the mall. Now, clearing this out a little bit, some of the other roads that we didn't talk about that I want to make sure that you're aware of, right? So Douglas is going to be a main road that's going to take you all the way out into Folsom Lake and into parts of Granite Bay. It's also going to come here into the older part of West Roseville. You've got some train tracks that you're going to have to cross over that you know, are the original train tracks that were kind of in the early 1900s, late 1800s. But there's also going to be a few, you know, like a lot of times when we're coming home, coming out to West Roseville from shooting videos or showing homes, we get out off of the Riverside and we take that all the way across, and we kind of cross over the train tracks into West Roseville. So there's a few different ways that you can get out there. And then another main point that I want to point out is, if you're in West Roseville and you want to make it all the way out to the airport, you can take Baseline all the way out, and that'll be a nice quick shot. So definitely a couple of different things that we wanted to point out. There's a lot of really good activity. You can go into Folsom Lake if you want to. If you have to be close to the airport, sometimes West Roseville can be a nice place to live. I know, you know, we kind of live over here by Mahaney Park, and if you know, we're picking anybody up from the airport, or if Lauren's mom's flying in and she calls us when they land on the tarmac at Sacramento International Airport, we can leave our house from when she calls us. As soon as you get cell phone service, as soon as you land, and we can make it to the front door in about 20 minutes before she grabs her bag and she's out at the curb. So, you know, kind of a nice thing. If you got to make a lot of trips over to Sacramento International Airport, that's really super cool and convenient. But if you want to go up to the, if you want to go up to North Star, or if you want to go up to any of the North Lake Tahoe activities, real quick to get on 80. But definitely we wanted to give you a little bit of snapshot of some of the roads that maybe we didn't take today. And if you have any questions about Roseville or something that we didn't cover on today's video, go ahead and comment on that down below. All right, so that was our full tour and 6 pros and 6 cons of Roseville as a whole, taking you from West Roseville all the way over to East Roseville and showing you some other highlight points on the map.
All right, so we hope you enjoyed this video. Now, if you're thinking about making the move to Roseville or the greater Sacramento Metro or any area around Sacramento, we are licensed real estate agents in the state of California, and we would love to help you with your next move. So that phone number should be popping up. We do answer every single phone call, email, and text message. So definitely make sure that you reach out to us so that we can help make your move to the greater Sacramento Metro as easy as possible.
See you on the next one.